Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to JC Yagi, where I share my audio journey, experience, and story. And today we're going to be talking about something interesting. Now, I have to ask you a question. Can you see yourself spending anywhere from $250 US or all the way up to $1,000 and plus for a single piece of music, single CD? I have the Pentatonics here, Japanese pressing, and the Don Henley. Can't stand still. Well, that's kind of what we're talking about today. The most expensive music format in existence, and that is the reel-to-reel behind me. That is the Technics RS1500. Now, we're not talking about specifically the Technics, as I've had TEAC, Pioneer, and I think I went through about 3 or 4 reel-to-reel tape decks so far. But why is it so expensive? And if it sounds that much better, why is it not more of a common thing? Well, let's talk about that. But before, let's talk about the limitations of a tape deck in the first place, right? Because I don't want to mislead you. So remember we talked about like this guy and paying $250 or $1,000 or whatnot for a single CD like this? Well, better luck next time because you can't get these on reel-to-reel. They don't have Pentatonics on reel-to-reel, let alone Don Henley. So that's the thing. Limited music selection. You can only have a few music selections with reel-to-reel tape decks. Even if you're flowing with money and you want to have Don Henley or Pentatonics on reel-to-reel, better luck next time. The music choices are extremely limited. So why is it that people go through all these limitations to play reel-to-reel? You know, they have this thing called a demagnetizer as well, which means it's not like it's maintenance free. You have to maintain this unit to make sure that it plays perfectly as intended. So there's a lot of things that goes into reel-to-reel that makes people kind of question why it's even in existence. But we have to also understand that back then, recordings were done with reel-to-reel tapes. And it's truly analog, meaning it's tape, so it's analog. There's no digital conversion going on. But that's also a thing is that today, digital has come a far way, and really a lot of experts will jump in and probably say, well, you know, digital has better dynamic range. You know, a lot of people can't tell between analog and digital. We've seen that with the MoFi, you know, controversy that came out, you know, not too long ago. You know, it's interesting, right? Yet, a lot of people swear by the reel-to-reel tape deck. Now, whether you hear a difference or not, that's not really the topic of this video. The scope of this video is really why I got it for my journey. And that's the cool factor. Honestly, I found it extremely cool. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, right? I like it. I know how to play it. I've learned how to maintain it and, you know, put the tape through it and stuff like that. And I play it with literally 3 pieces of music and that's it. Because it's so expensive to own music on reel-to-reel. Yet, when I play the same music through streaming and vinyl and CD, and yes, I play all of them, I still prefer the reel-to-reel. Why is that? Why is that? Is it the cool factor or is it something else? Now, I'm going to tell you what I find with the differences first of all. Now, first of all, I play a lot of streaming. That is the go-to for me because I usually switch gear all the time and streaming is just easier and just, you know, it's just more convenient, right? And then there is turntables. I love turntables. If you remember, I used to have a turntable system, just a turntable system that consisted about $40,000 US. Now, price is not everything, and I'm not telling you that you should go wild like that because I obviously downsized my turntable system drastically. And that's okay. I think music is what matters when it comes to LPs and CDs and stuff like that. Because the reason I play all these formats, including CD, LP, you know, turntables, streaming, and reel-to-reel, is because simply sometimes there is music that I own that I simply don't find on streaming softwares, or I have it on CD and I want to play it through a CD player. It's not so much about whether I can tell a difference between analog and digital. It's just simply about the ritual, right? often when we play streaming, it's kind of like the current social media, like TikTok, right? It's instantaneous. I often find people that come in here that are younger to switch music quite fast. They play the first minute or something and then they switch. CDs, there's a limitation to how much you can do that, right? So you have one CD from the same artist, Don Henley. If I'm putting this in, I'm here to stay and listen to Don Henley for the next, at least 30, 40 minutes. When I'm playing LP, it even makes it harder to go to the next track. So when I'm playing LP, it's a ritual. I set it up, use my brush, put my stylus on, and music plays, and voila. It's not about, for me, hearing the differences between CD and LP and streaming. It's about the ritual, and it's about how I listen to and consume the media. Now, when it comes to reel-to-reel, it's similar to a CD player in terms of functionality, meaning you can skip, you can, but it's somewhere between like a turntable and a CD player. It makes you sit there and listen to the entire thing, and it makes you appreciate the music a little more than if you were just streaming and getting distracted by the next song coming up and stuff like that. So for me, it's somewhere between a ritual and enjoying that analog sound. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, we saw the MoFi controversy and we've seen with experts saying that digital just sounds simply better because of better dynamic range and stuff like that. And yes, but also no, because we've seen so much limitation with streaming devices. I mean, the frustration I have with streaming devices goes back to when I started selling streamers when I used to work at retail. So we used to have really high-end streamers ranging from, $1 zillion to, $1,000 budget ranges. But even the ones that costed a kidney really didn't have the convenience factor nailed down. It was kind of finicky. It's gotten a lot better, but I still find that when I plug in a CD or play my turntable, it just simply sounds better. And my room is treated. The things I hear is that things seem to be more liquid and open up. Now, take that and multiply it by, I would say, 10 times in terms of smoothness and in terms of musicality. It's not about the every little detail. And I think that's still better on streaming, right? There's no noise floor to be had with streaming and even CDs, right? That's why I like CDs, because it's like a nice middle ground. With tapes, you have tape noise, you have less dynamic range than digital. And, with LPs, you get similar things like that, higher noise floor, and, it's not convenient. It's an LP, you get those groove noises and stuff like that. But when I play reel to reel, there's something about it, something real about it. And it's not something that is simply quantifiable, because the soundstage becomes deeper and wider for me. Things becomes more spacious, more separated, smoother, more vivid, and it just seems more organic. And I know that sounds so bad. Organic, what does that mean? It just seems fresh, it just seems more real, more vivid. For me, that's what really grabs me, right? The emotional connection to music. And maybe it's all in my head because I'm playing through something cool. But in my head, I know, as someone who streams and have all these formats, I know from reading and stuff that reel-to-reel tape decks have limitations with dynamic range and it's not the best format. I know that. Yet, when I play it knowingly that it's limited, I just like it better. And that's why some people really swear by reel-to-reel, and I've seen a lot of experts swear by it. Studio experts, people that I know that are very well adapted in the industry, that's reputable. I'm not gonna name drop anyone, but they play reel-to-reel almost exclusively, and that is probably why. It's that it just sounds better and easier on their ears. And not to mention the spaciousness that is brought to the table, really, when you compare it to CD, LP, or even streaming. The most drastic thing is that when it comes to comparing streaming to a tape deck like this, the things I hear is just immediate because I have the system here to set up where it's really easy to switch back and forth. So I can go from streaming to tape deck to my LP to my CD player in an instant. So I can really compare and dial in the same system to, see what's going on. And to me, every single time I prefer the tape deck. Now, the problem is, like I said, there's huge limitations that comes with a tape deck. The maintenance, the limited music choices, which drives me crazy. So really, a lot of you guys ask me why I have the reel-to-reel, and a lot of you find it cool and stuff. And, for me, I like to keep it around because for me, it sounds better. And for me, with certain music that I really love, I like to play it through reel-to-reel. And I know some of you guys gonna comment, oh, well, it's because of the fact that you spent so much money on each of your music that you want it to sound better. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But I've spent a lot of money on my LPs collection, and I've spent a lot of money on CDs. So, I don't know how much truth there is to that comment, but for me, I would rather get rid of it because, and I've thought about getting rid of it because of the frustration of not being able to obtain every music that I want to play through it. And I want to play all these music through it because to me, it sounds better. So really, it comes down to experimenting. I'm not telling you guys to go out and get a reel-to-reel right now because, like I said, there's a lot of limitations that come with it. But this video just kind of expressing why I have one in the first place, I guess. So that's pretty much it. And yes, it's cool, but it's also the most expensive and most annoying music format that I know of. So that's pretty much it. And I hope this video was entertaining or kind of give you insight to reel because, it's nice to see one and be like, oh, wow, I want to get one. Jay has one, but, it's not ideal is all I'm saying. It's not all unicorn and, flowers when it comes to this. It's a hate and love relationship. And the love really comes from the sound. Hate is from all the other factors that I mentioned. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video was, like I said, entertaining for you. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Until next time.